It felt like I'd been hit by a bus because they were confirming what we'd thought. But at the same time, it was so upsetting just to hear it. They said there might be a reason why she died. Things hadn't gone correctly. There was still a lot of mistrust, but the fact that they'd said, this is the reason why we're looking at it, and they hadn't pulled any punches was good. And just having that honesty.
Each conversation is unique. Some families instantly know what they want to say, what they want to ask, and other people, it takes a while for events to sink in. We just have to deal with each case individually, but always show that we are just really sorry.
I went through so many emotions after that incident, but I went straight to the family immediately and explained that it might have been us. There were a lot of tears shed, but I did it, and I went home and trembled a lot. Perhaps because of how quickly I told the family, it felt like they were able to trust me a little bit, and I could explain what would happen next with the investigation, the report, and how they could be involved going forward, if they wanted to be.
I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't feel like we were just being completely honest and doing our best. Because that's what people remember, that first interaction is what they'll reflect on when they're looking back and trying to deal with the shock.
You learn a lot by watching those with more experience. I remember one of my earliest conversations. I was physically shaken. I was just so worried I wouldn't know what to say. I asked a senior colleague to come with me for support and to answer any questions I couldn't. And we spent 45 minutes talking with the family.
The most important people to involve in these investigations are the parents. They have to be central to the whole picture. Without their perspectives on what happened, we'd never be able to learn and to change care for other families.
I always say to families when they finally receive the report and the notes, read them when you have someone there with you for support. It is important we don't compound their trauma with more trauma. And let them know they can come back to talk you through if they want to, when they feel ready. As at some point, most families need us to listen to their experience.
The report was accessible. There was no hiding behind things. There was nobody really making excuses for things. But it really does feel like there should be more ongoing support for the families. It felt at times like once the report had been sent that it was a bit like, right, off you go, might see you later. And there had been a point where we didn't know if she would ever walk, but no one ever followed up to see how she was doing. So nobody knew.
One of the team who led the investigation has kept me updated with the changes that have gone on in the service and that are still happening. It's helped a little knowing what happened to my baby and that everything we went through hopefully won't happen to someone else.
Quite a while later, I saw one of the staff who was there on that day. It felt like we'd both sort of carried it. And when we talked, it was like it hadn't all been forgotten.
So only a few people will have these difficult conversations, and only some keep in touch with the family. But this all has to be held by the many different people in the organisation. It's not just about organisations saying this is how we should work with families. Everybody needs to be on the same page. It needs to be the culture. It's about this being our moral compass.